I tell you I was on my mind?
It's your brother, your cousin, your uncle, your nephew, your friend, but I can't be your son as your kinfolk. William Jewell, giving you my detail as I articulate. This is articulating rap. How y'all doing? If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and turn all the notifications on so you can get all the new content when I post it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting. I really appreciate it, because sometimes it's highs and lows in this music industry. And sometimes you get to talk about the music. Sometimes you got to talk about the mess. And like today is one of those tweeners where you kind of got to talk a little bit about the mess. But it's still some opportunities to talk about the music, And today was a rough day, right? Because this was the first day of me coaching flag football and we could not score a touchdown. Right, we played another team and they was just head and shoulders, better than us, like more organized, faster, more athletic, and we just couldn't get it going. So I take it on myself as a coach. I was hurt, man. I was sad. I was upset. I was disappointed. But I take it on the chin as a coach in this flag football game. And, we got to keep moving. So it took me a while to kind of just get in the mindset to do this podcast, right? It took me a while to really feel like articulating because, another disappointment, and I just want to come out and say it. And I'm not going to say I was disappointed fully, but I was expecting more from Leon Bridges, the self-titled album Leon, Fort Worth, Texas, Panther City, one of the natives of Texas, man. Like Leon and the Gold Digger music, this self-titled album, I feel like he has some good songs on there, but he's not going back to his Texas son back. He's not going back to his Beyond. He's not going back to that Coming Home bag. He need to get back to that classic bag. I feel like he is making music for his fan base. He is making music for the people that love him and for the people that like to hear his music. But I feel like sometimes he's getting complacent. I feel like sometimes he's getting content. And it's real slow, not a lot of up-tempo songs. And some of the melodies that I like from him, he tends to get away from those melodies. Right, so Leon Bridges, this was a bridge over troubled waters. This was something that I was really looking forward to, and I'm still listening to it because I love Leon's voice, because I love his message. But in totality, the songs are slower, the messages, the storytelling is there, but the messages aren't as profound. The messages aren't as prolific. There aren't as impactful. So Leon, and I talked about Leon Thomas. I talked about the Mutt album last week, but this Leon Bridges, that was my Leon. That was my Texas Leon. That was the native of Fort Worth, DFW area. And I just feel like this was kind of mediocre. Right? This wasn't his greatest body of work. This was probably, behind that gold digging music. This was probably right behind that because gold digging music had a couple of jams, couple of hits to it. This one had some songs to it. It wasn't long. It was 14 songs, 33 minutes. It wasn't a long album. It was sweet, short, and to the point. It was cohesive. The sounds was great. You could really hear the guitar. You could really hear the acoustics. But just in totality, When a Man Cries, that song and that second song, he had some points in the album where he really just kind of got me captivated and really brought me into it. But then on other moments, he's steady talking about dancing with a senorita in Laredo. He's steady talking about a Spanish lover, a Latina that broke his heart. On that level, I can't relate. And that's why I relate to the Mutt. That's why I relate to the Brent Fayez of the world, the more toxic men, because I'm a toxic lover, or at least I was. And so just relating to that type of thing is more like my bag. But when you get into that lover boy bag, like Leon, and you're really like talking about like love stories and how you fell in love with somebody from Corpus Christi, how you fell in love with somebody from Laredo, a Spanish mamacita, and it didn't end up well. You sound just like one of my bros. Sound like one of my bros talking about a Latina that he had back in the day, and he didn't do right by her. Or she was a little bit too busy, or the culture didn't really love him the way that he loved it, So you sound just like one of my bros back from Waco that loved those Mexican girls, and, even a cousin that loved those Mexican girls, and they pretty much turned their back on them, right? So, I mean, I didn't relate to it in that type of aspect. And I love my Latino bros. I love my Latina, hermosas. But, just to hear a man, from this culture, and he's not really bringing our culture into play when he's talking about these other cultures, I guess that's where he lost me. That's where I kind of found some disappointment. And we got to go to rap now, right? We got to go to rap. We got to go to hip hop, because this is articulating rap, right? And we talking about the Tee Grizzley post-traumatic, right? A lot of people was like, bro, you need to listen to it, bro. This shit go hard, bro. This old turn me up, bro. Hey, bro, what you think about it, bro? Like, when they talk about that robbery, bro, that's the best storytelling, bro. I don't give a damn, bro. Because he couldn't really even get me to those last couple songs of this album. Like, man, I had to force myself to listen to this shit. Like, he got some shit that's knocking. He got some shit that's jamming. Like, you could turn it on in the gym and like work out to it, but it wasn't all that. He got a couple of songs, but it was just hard to get through the whole album, because just that first part of the album was kind of like all over the place. The album was all over the place. It's 22 songs. It's an hour and 10 minutes. Like, bro, this 70 minutes, 22 songs. They say his fan base is not complaining. His fan base, I have artists that I like. I'm a fan of Lil Durk. When he gives me 22 songs and only half of them are really good, I still don't like the other half. I'm still not that biased. I'm still not that, I won't be on the bandwagon in the seatbelt, right? I'm going to be on the bandwagon where I can jump off that hoe and see y'all ride into the sunset. Because if it's not for me, it's not for me. Right? And I like Tee Grizzley. Tee Grizzley, he got his style. He got his own flavor. I feel like he's the one that brought that Detroit flavor into the mix. He's the one that really catapulted that sound, and he deserves his honors. He deserves his credit. He deserves for me to tip my cat, and yes, sir, I will. But that doesn't excuse the music that he's putting out. Like, there's no cohesiveness. There's no structure. There's no direction. It's a little bit all over the place. Right? And who am I to, like, let that go on and not call the bullshit out? Right? And I hate to compare him to another Detroit native, but what Babyface Ray did on the kid that did, like, that was more reflective of cohesion. That was more reflective of a album that was good from beginning to end. That was more reflective of something that, culminated that Detroit flavor and still, like, encapsulated his sound and encapsulated his flow, right? And we know Tee Grizzley, he can sing a little bit. He can, give us a little bit melodies, and then he could give us that hardcore rap, right? He could talk about that street shit, and his introspectiveness, it really pulls me in. It keeps me wondering. I like the stories. I like the storytelling, right? But when that shit all over the place, and when it's a lull through the middle of the album, and the album is an hour and 10 minutes, it's hard to keep my attention because a catchy beat is not gonna do it. I do like the song he did with YTB Fat. I do like the song he did with Future. I do like the song he did with Cole, right? Even though Cole blew his ass out the water on Blow for Blow, I do like what he did on these features. Tink, the feature, you could keep that. Like the female song, I didn't like it. But, Tee Grizzley, we got to give him some attention. We got to give him some acknowledgement. And I like what he does, even though he's like moving as an independent, even though he's moving as if nobody's really instructing him or directing him on how he should do things, because you can tell how he's doing things is not within that type of structure, is not within the industry standard. And the music and the albums that he's putting out these playlist albums, and that's not gonna work for me. I expect the body of work. I expect artistry. I expect that pure heart, that pure passion. I expect some purpose. I expect some storytelling. I expect, a little bit more from an artist that's been in this game for a while now. Like, too many of these rappers is rapping to just rap. That's the issue. That's my issue with these niggas. They rapping to rap. They rapping to put songs out, but they not rapping to create art. They not rapping to really be great at their craft. They're not rapping to give us that body of work that we can live with for years to come. And that's the type of music I want to hear. That's the type of music I want to listen to. But y'all rapping for the temporary. Y'all rapping for the streams. Y'all rapping for the playlist. Y'all rapping just to be heard, because you got a name, because you got clout, because you can make some money off of this type of project. But are you rapping with real fulfillment, with real gratification, with real, warmness in your heart? Are you rapping with passion? I don't give a fuck about what you can do lyrically. I don't care about your skill set. I care about your heart. I care about your mind. I care about your purpose. I care about what you're trying to say, the story you're trying to tell. Whether it be toxic, whether it be positive, conscious, whether it be about the streets, right? Whether it be about the drugs. But I need you to tell it in an art form that's captivating, not in an art form that's just surviving. That's just making it by. That's just doing the bare minimum to satisfy your fans, and not really trying to reach outside that fan base and get other people on the bandwagon. That's why I won't put my seatbelt on. That's why I don't ride for you niggas. Because y'all be going the wrong direction. Y'all don't know where y'all going. Y'all need to turn y'all Google Maps on and figure it out. And who am I to judge, right? Who am I to say, no, this Tee Grizzley ain't jamming? Who am I to say this Leon Bridges ain't what it is? Like, I'm just a regular guy, right? I'm just working as a business professional doing the personal training. I'm just a regular guy. Who am I to speak on these artists? Like, what have I done in the music industry? What type of music have I put out, right? But as a spectator, as somebody... as a fan of the art, as somebody that really studies this shit, you know what I'm saying? And studies that things that work and things that don't work, and study the success and why these things were successful. As somebody that's a nerd in the hip hop, I feel like my opinion is valid. And whether it be validated by your ears or not, I'm going to speak my truth, and I'm going to speak it with all honesty. So, yeah, you just have to articulate that, right? When it comes to music, I saw that Lil Durk did put out a new track list, And like I said, Lil Durk is somebody that also puts out a lot of songs, right? And that track list, it didn't seem like it was a lot of songs. I don't got the picture right now to really look at it, but you know, some of the songs he already put out, you can see that it's on there monitoring us. Like, I like that. I like the motion in which it's going. I saw that he had a feature with Drake, this continuing work, walk hard. Like, so Dirk is back in the mix. Dirk is back in the fold. I'm really excited for that because I'm a Dirk fan, and like what Academic said, and like I said, you know, with the recent, you know, numbers of Ace Boogie, with the recent numbers of Polo G, with the recent numbers of Big Sean, right? With the recent numbers of the Roddy Riches, like with the recent numbers of those guys, I'm anxious to see like the numbers of Dirk and how well Dirk does in this new, you know, era, or you know, this new climate of streaming. So I'm really, you know, glued in, and I like what he did on Power. You know, it was good to see him, like good to see him in his form, good to see him in this element. And I'm glad 50 Cent put him in. He did a hook on the, well, not a hook. He did a verse on the Tommy's Force show. So I mean, Dirk is he getting in the mix, right? He's making some moves. He's on TV now. And he's not a bad actor, so I like to see what he can do, right? And I think what he got going on in the future is very promising. So shout out to Dirk. I'm ready to see what this album sounds like. I want to see what it does streaming wise, and you know, continue to get better, continue to perfect your craft, and that's all I'm looking for. That's my only expectation, is to perfect the craft, and it sounds like he's doing that. It sounds like his rhyme scheme, his direction of how he's rhyming, like where he wants to go with his lyrics and with his verses. It sounds like it's there, it's coming together. So I'm excited to see, you know, I'm excited to hear what he has coming for us. And outside of music, now we got to talk about the DDG PSA. Right, because like I said, sometimes we could talk about the music. Sometimes we got to talk about the mess. He basically says that he's not with Halle Bailey anymore, right? You know, Chloe Bailey's sister, the Little Mermaid, right? He says they're no longer in a relationship. They recently had a child together, and they're no longer in a relationship. Of course, she said nothing. She just unfollowed him and took all the pictures down. But he had a word to say about them not being together anymore. And to me, it just looks real. It looks real soft, right? It looks real like clout chaser, Rich. And Joe Budden has something to say about it. And he kind of clapped back at Joe Budden. He crashed out on Joe Budden. Told him he was old. Told him he need to take his magnesium pills. Told him he only got 30 years to live on this earth. Like, goddamn. Like, you talking about a man's borrowed time when you don't even know the time, minute, hour, a day. Like, God's gonna decide to take somebody away. Damn, you really that bold? Because you tender. You tender over a woman. And I get it. You had a child with this lady, and I get it. Usher tried to feed her a cherry while he was on stage, and I get it. You're a public figure. This is a public relationship, so it only makes sense to go to the public and tell them that y'all are splitted. So whenever they see you out and about on some mischievous bullshit, then, you know, it won't hurt Halle. It won't look bad on you. It won't look bad on y'all as a couple. But at the same time, like, this shit was just childish to me. It was just like unmanly. It was not masculine. It was very feminine. It was like, you know, exposing business, telling business when you ain't got to tell business. And when somebody sees you out doing whatever you doing, then that's when it's a time to talk about it. But ain't no need to like make an announcement that you're breaking up with someone, not to the public. The only person that you need to tell is that significant other, right? The only person that needs to know is that significant other. Like, the whole world don't need to know. Like, it's not manly. It's very Generation Z-ish. It's very young-minded. It's not a good look. And I can understand the angle that Joe Budden took at you, because you left yourself vulnerable to that type of attack. You left yourself open. And a lot of niggas get open behind women. A lot of niggas get tender behind these women. A lot of dudes get tender behind these women. And I was looking at a meme on the internet, and I guess this is like what I want to explore when it comes to this topic. I was looking at a meme, and it was just showing like, damn, why do men break up with their girlfriend right after they have a baby? And first of all, you know, when you break up with your girlfriend, the understanding is y'all not married. Right? Because it seems like I gotta come to y'all and talk to y'all like from the perspective of a married man, from the perspective of a man that has a child with the woman, from the perspective of a father, right? From a husband. Like y'all really need this type of lesson, because some of y'all not gonna get it. Some of y'all don't understand the discipline. Some of y'all don't understand not always being in the forefront of everyone's priority. Some of y'all are selfish, and rightfully so. I mean, you're the guy in your field. You have the notoriety, DDG. You're known. You have some type of clout. You have a face in the public, so you can go here and go there and be recognized and be able to do whatever you want to do. And women will flock to you, and people will flock to you, and people will sing your praises, and people will act like they like you even when they don't, just to be around you. I get it. So it's hard not to be selfish, you know, when it comes to your significant other, when it comes to the priorities that you're expecting out of them, when it comes to your expectations of them. And we got to understand, like, when a woman has a child, that phase of nurturing, that they have to pay attention to that child, that attention that they give them, that love, that bond that they really are forming, the bond that was forged in the stomach of this woman when they had the baby. Like, you got to understand, it takes a while for that woman, for that girlfriend, or for that wife to really start back reflecting her attention back to you. And as a man of a child, as a man of a newborn baby, you have to understand that your son, or that your daughter, that your child needs this attention, especially from their mother, not from your grandma, not from your mama, not from a nanny that y'all hired, but the mother and the father. And so not only should the woman be giving this child attention, but the man should be giving this child attention as well. And sometimes when our significant others are not getting the bulk of the attention from us, then they get insecure, then they get impatient, then they get, you know, locked in and focused on their selfish ways. They feel like they're not a priority. They feel like nobody cares about them. All you care about is the child. What about me? What about me? You said we was gonna fuck last week. I haven't gotten any pussy in a month. What about me? And I'm the man. I'm that guy. Right? I'm that guy. Women want me. I know they want me. Cause I go outside every day, and the look in their eyes when they see me, it's undeniable. Right? But it takes discipline to deny things that are undeniable. It takes discipline to put yourself on the back burner and put your family in the forefront, and really have some type of understanding with the stages and the phases that a woman goes through when she have these children. And you know, that intimacy can lack a little bit. That intimacy might not be there as much. And so you feel like they don't care about you. They only care about this child. They only see you as a sperm donor. Like, you know, all that shit might run through your head. It's all about the insecurities. Like, you're important to this woman. You're important to this child. And you got to understand, if you don't want no other man raising this child, then it's your duty to be solid. Then it's your duty to be disciplined. Then it's your duty to be the provider. Then it's your duty to provide love. Then it's your duty to be that presence, to be that, you know, reasonable mind when things are emotional. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all don't got no code when it comes to that type of thing. Like, that's the fucked up thing about the culture. We don't got no code. We don't got no structure when it comes to the sexual discipline. We don't got no real, like, you know, way that we need to move. And it ain't even about the culture. It's really about the Bible. It's really about having patience. It's really about being just somebody that leads with love, being somebody that's a servant leader, right? And just leading by example. And as you do these things, then your partner will see it. Your partner will recognize it. And then everything will, you know, come back around to you. But when you start to put yourself first, when y'all have a child, a young child, then that partner could resent you for it because they are trying to put attention to this child, and all you doing is worried about you and your needs and your intimacy. And some of y'all both will lack that. You don't think that woman wants to be intimate with you either, but it's a process. And maybe it was the Usher's cherry. Maybe it was a conversation after the concert that you felt the way, but everybody saw that video and felt like you did the right thing. And nobody, you know, critiqued Halle for even wanting to attempt to eat that cherry from Usher. But it's just another, you know, one bites the dust is a theme when it comes to these Usher concerts. All right, and then we got to get on my good old pal. My good old pal, Aubrey Graham Drake. Like, he's still playing that victim card. And I don't see why. I don't see why Drake continues to whine in public about his losses. I don't see why Kendrick Lamar is steady living rent-free in his head. Drake went on an unfollowing spree. But did he follow his heart, or did he follow his mind when he wanted to get into that battle? Did he follow his heart, or did he follow his mind when he was trying to mess with all of these women that belong to men that he claimed to be their friends in the industry? Like, did he follow his heart, or did he follow his mind when he could not escape the temptation from a woman, like, giving her body to him? Like, he had no discipline. He did not care about his friends then. He didn't care about how he moved. And you saying these people backstab you, bro? You was moving slimy from the get-go. And there's been a lot of stuff that people been talking about, how he been moving the industry, that they really haven't released. They really haven't said about it. But if you think about all the guys that you did features with and you went behind them and smashed they chicks and you thought it was all gravy, it was all good, what would Pluto do? I fucked them hoes, so I did it. You thought that was the code, then you're sadly mistaken. And that's a reason why you're not. That's another thing, right? That's another example to show that you're not from the US of A culture, not that black culture. Because if you knew, if you understood it, you knew this would be wrong. Fucked on Wayne girl while he was in jail. That was conniving and got his face tatted like a bitch apologizing. Right? But now you on your pedestal, you're on your holy high horse, and you're saying people stabbed you in the back, and these people in the industry switch sides on you. These people didn't come out and defend you. These people didn't put their arm around you. These people didn't give you a hug. These people didn't give you a kiss on the cheek when you felt lonely. These people didn't ride your nuts when they were cold. Right? What? Like, how does that sound, bro? Using that victim mentality to make people feel sorry for him. Like, and maybe that was the thing or the theme for that concert or that pop out that he did, the nostalgia, right? Maybe that was the theme. I don't know. But I know he got a lot of hit records. And the crazy thing is, people credit Drake They give Drake all the credit, but never give credit to the other artists for collaborating with him. Because it is true what Kendrick said. All of these artists added to Drake's brand. They added to his esteem. They added to his image. They added to his ability to talk tough. They added his ability to be braggadocious. They added to who we see Drake is as he is now. And he's still in the concert talking like he's from Canadian. He's talking like he's a Canadian. Right? He's still switching accents, man. He's still talking like he's from Canada, eh? Like, bro, you got so many accents, bro. We don't know which one is you. Who's the true Drake? But you want to play the victim role. Woe is me. Oh, they all did me wrong. All 20 of them. Like, come on, bro. There's a reason why they switch sides on you. And if you were a good guy, if you were a legitimate man, if you were a real nigga, like, it wouldn't be 20 people switching sides on you. It wouldn't be so many people switching sides on you. Nobody defended you. Nobody really came out and stood in front of the gun for you. Nobody came out. You know what I'm saying? They took your defense. Because you weren't worth defending. Because they knew your actions. Because they knew how you moved was untrustworthy. Was dishonorable. And now you want to pull that card out? You want to whine? You want to bitch? You want to moan? Oh, they did me so wrong. I'm really a good guy. I'm from Canadian, yeah. They switched sides. I gave them their first #1 hit. And they made me feel welcomed in the black culture. But that doesn't mean anything. What matters is I gave them a hit. What they did for my self-esteem, what they did for my confidence in the music industry, it doesn't matter. What matters is the sales, right? What matters is the numbers, right? Right? No, bro. What matters is like your character. What matters is your integrity. And when that comes into question and people turn their back on you because that's been questionable all along. Like, all we got to do is point to the Wayne example. If he fucked Wayne's girl while he was in jail and Wayne put him on, the reason why Drake is as big as he is, a reason why Drake is known is because the Wayne Carter and he fucked his girl while he was in jail. Think about the rest of these niggas don't stand a chance. The rest of these niggas don't even matter. You think he gonna show y'all some sympathy? You think he gonna show y'all some love? It's not even Wayne. So, like, to me, that's the prime example. And to me, that was one of the dominoes, right, in everything that Drake has done, because that's the domino effect. And now we can see, like, how it carried over for pretty much 14, 15 years. And when you do this for that long, in that period of time, like, there's consequences, right? There's karma that comes with it. Like, you reap what you sow, as the Bible would say. So I don't feel sorry for Drake. You know, just keep putting out good music if you can, right? Find some other friends that you can dog behind their back and act all chummy and buddy, like when y'all in front of the camera. Like, keep doing that. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, certain things is, like, unforgivable. And certain things, like when you cry wolf, like, you crying wolf, you faking. Like, not even crying wolf. It's just like, when there's smoke, there's fire. How about that? When there's smoke, there's fire. So if it's so many people against you, why are they against you, and why you? After everything you done, why you? And people want to point the finger at the industry. The industry's trying to get him out of there. Like, I mean, I get it. He feels arrogant. He feels like he can move how he want to in the industry. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But if he had the backing, if he had the support of the other artists, like, then they wouldn't even be able to make this type of move on him. But since he done dogged out his friends, he done hold all his friends, he done snaked all the people that really, like, you know, helped with his elevation, then at the end of the day, bro, when you all alone, ask what Mike would do. This is your brother, your cousin, your uncle, your nephew, your friend, but it can't be your son. It's your kinfolk, William Jewell. Giving you my detail as I articulate. This is articulating. Rap, rap, rap.